doing Cobra Kai season 2. We're doing the
Here we
final
go.
5 episodes now, the latter half. Okay, so where we last left off.
Yes.
It was episode 5, one of the greatest episodes.
Mhm.
I'd say of the first 15 episodes of the series, that was probably the best one. Don't you think?
Yeah.
It was amazing. If you remember when we last left everybody, so Carmen had just told Johnny to be a bigger man, right? She thought the war with LaRusso was going to get ugly. She's like, trust me, I've seen a lot of shit with Miguel's dad. Miguel's dad was jerking off all over people.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what she was inferred.
It really was not inferred.
I'm pretty sure. Watch the episode again. So Johnny is got this programmed in his head now. So then LaRusso shows up. LaRusso starts flipping out, emasculates Johnny 6 fucking ways to Sunday right there at his dojo, right?
Mhm.
And that's where we left off, was Daniel getting in his face a couple times. Kind of in his face, right? Someone in his face. Daniel was like, Daniel's out of control. And then Daniel's last line where he's like, I'm not going to strike
out
first.
Of control.
Let me tell you, this is a fucking incredible episode. Let's talk about where that left off. So now Johnny, what happens? Now Johnny has lost a bunch of his students. Things are not good at the dojo. You don't want to have half your students walk out and go train with your fucking nemesis, do you?
Right. No.
Nobody wants that at all. Just like LaRusso doesn't want everybody to leave him and go to Tom Cole's. Nobody wants that either. But maybe that's coming next season. Anyway.
Oh, the similarities.
It's all over the place. So listen, Johnny's got more troubles happening here. He lost a bunch of his students. Everything's falling apart. Kreese said it best. He's like, you back down from that challenge from LaRusso. And I got to tell you, for a guy who keeps talking about striking first, striking hard, he didn't strike first or hard.
He was being the better man.
Oh, better man. Can you imagine? It was a no-win for him in episode 5. I know this is episode 5 still we're talking about, but there was a no-win situation because if Johnny had fought Daniel there, if he went ahead and fought him and then didn't win, like if it was either kind of a draw in some way.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Why, you think Johnny really beats him? They fought a couple times. He doesn't win yet. It's always like 50-50.
You
don't think so?
No, I think Johnny would win.
Well, we'll discuss this in a few because they fight in a few episodes. Anyway, so finally, Johnny didn't do anything. He let LaRusso walk. I think Johnny really looked like a bitch. Honestly, I'm telling you,
He did not.
He did. He didn't do a damn thing. How do you go about teaching karate when a guy walks right into your studio, doesn't take his shoes off on the mat, walks right in, gets in your face a couple of times, then he even says, I'm not going to strike first. That's fucking ballsy. That is a direct threat to Johnny, and Johnny didn't do a damn thing about it. Even with Kreese there, the guys could have double teamed him.
He was being the better man.
I gotta tell you, that Carmen's ruining his life.
Oh,
Carmen is ruining Johnny's whole fucking badass persona. How did the kids even take him seriously? Look, it doesn't matter. Half the class walks out. Now we're in season 6. Johnny's got a decimated fucking roster at this point. It's not looking good, and now we find out that Tommy's sick. Right?
Right.
And so he tells Kreese, hold down the fort. Do you think it's interesting he never told Kreese what was going on? Because Kreese kind of knew these guys.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that was unique that he didn't say, it's actually someone it's Tommy. He didn't do that. So he leaves.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the hospital, and one of the first faces we see is Jimmy. And for those of you who know the first 3 films, no one knows what
Jimmy.
No one knows what Jimmy looks like. Jimmy was like the 5th guy that everybody forgot. You know what I'm saying? Like every band's got someone like that. So does Cobra Kai. I don't think Jimmy was ever really shown on screen for more than maybe like 2 seconds straight. Unless maybe when he was in that fucking the Halloween gear. Anyway.
And then you couldn't see his face anyway.
No, you could see. So it was a big stupid mess. Anyway, so then Johnny goes out there to the San Bernardino thing. Hey, what do you think? Without Dutch, was it a lot worse without Dutch since the actor didn't want to come back?
A lot worse.
Yeah, than it would have been if we had Dutch. Like, did that bring down the whole party, or did you not really miss Dutch?
I didn't miss Dutch.
I didn't miss him, but I think if he was there, it would have been a lot better.
He was there in spirit because, they certainly talked about him.
Yeah, they brought him up a couple times, but I think it would have been a lot better with Dutch.
I think they channeled Dutch in that brawl that they were in.
See, that's part of what I'm thinking. I think that brawl was so cool. But if Dutch was there, because Dutch was like really supposed to be the most unhinged, right, out of all of them, worse than Johnny. Yeah. I think we would have seen Dutch do some heinous shit in that fight. Yeah. Dutch would have been fucking breaking beer bottles, like, well, I guess they did that anyway.
It would have been off the hook.
Yeah, I bet the writers behind the scenes were pretty bummed out that he didn't want to come do the show.
Sure.
But he just wanted to stay in the desert. I think he told them in real life, the actor said, if you come to the desert, I'll shoot something here, but I don't want to really have to leave my area, is what he said. He didn't want to travel. So that's kind of funny. I think it would have been a lot better with Dutch. It was still great. Right? Yeah. Well, who the hell wants to leave? But great episode. I really love that conversation Johnny and Tommy had, their
Mm-hmm.
last conversation
Yeah.
over the fire.
Yeah.
That was great. I've got friends from way back when. I hope we have a conversation like that at some point before one of us is
You want
dead.
to know that they were in love with your girl?
No, but it's not even that they talked about that many things. It was just that they reminisced and they just kind of looked each other in the eye and went over the old days. I thought it was cool that the other guys were asleep for that too. That it
Yeah.
was just Tommy and Johnny.
Yeah.
You know, that was really good. I love too. I just thought it was good writing, but the fact that in real life, Rob Garrison,
That makes it so heartbreaking for me.
yeah,
It really does.
it's interesting that they I'm sure it was no coincidence. They pretty
No.
clearly took real life and just worked it into the story.
Yeah.
And they kind of had to hurry because he did die a pretty short time,
Not long after.
right? I mean, it was pretty quick, so that they really had to get that together.
Yeah.
And they did it real well, and it was a nice send off to him. So what a great episode, right? Home run of an episode,
Yes.
emotional. The oh god, the fucking when they're wrapping him, when they're putting him in a body
Oh.
bag and they're zipping up the body bag.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking, like, do they flash back to when he's in the crowd and he's yelling, "Get him a body bag"? But
There was no need.
no, you didn't need to. It was too good. It was emotional this way. It was just a great episode. Really a great episode.
Yeah.
So many good moments, especially from Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
When he says to Johnny, when he says, "You were always the better fighter,"
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's talking about life, but also in the tournament and how. God, I could watch that episode 100 times. I think I did. I probably did
I
watch it a
think you
hundred times. Yeah,
did.
we've seen it a lot. Oh, what a good episode. So that's episode 6. Then we get into the next couple episodes. A little more focus on the kids again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Took some focus off Johnny a little bit, got more into like the love square, I guess, that's going on, sort of, or that was sort of starting to happen. There was that party that Moon had. You got to give it to Moon.
Mm.
She's so innocent and sweet. She's like, "Oh, I just thought everybody could come be friends now that school's starting."
Yeah.
That's bitch. That's the last thing. Nobody's gonna be friends. The first thing they did when they got there was started competing. There
Yeah.
was the pissing contest thing with Dimitri, and then Dimitri roasted fucking Hawk. How good was that?
Sure did.
I, Dimitri.
He's got balls in there,
How did he not
that
think after
kid.
the mall that they were going to beat his ass?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After that, they just shook him down at the
Uh,
mall like an episode ago, 2 episodes ago, and now he's up there like a stand-up comic, like he's fucking Jim Brewer up there.
yeah.
He's like, oh, you love pissing so much, you know. Anyway, very cool. I'm kind of surprised Hawk tried to show him any mercy at all.
Uh-huh.
I was surprised they went there with the alcohol with Sam and Tori with a
Oh,
Y.
it was right out there.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
surprising that the show, I don't mean the characters, I mean the show doing that.
Mm-hmm.
This show is not the least bit concerned about language, little drug use, kids
Mm-hmm.
drinking alcohol. These kids aren't even like, it's not like they're 20 going on 21.
Right.
They're like
They're in high
16,
school.
17. Yeah, they're not even seniors and they're boozing it up, no problem. And then of course you got this clown there. You got you got Ray. He's still Raymond at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there and he's not. I just the whole thing was so fucking ridiculous. And I think it was really good that they were about to finally all fight, and
Mm-hmm.
then they had the cops show up.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it goes in real life,
Yep.
actually. It usually
Definitely.
is like the cops show up right when things are about to get really bad, or right after. It's always one or the other, but it's within a half hour of things getting very, very ugly and bloody. So yeah, great episodes there too. How about when Miguel and Tori go on their little date while she's working at the
Mm.
skating ring thing, the 80s
Yeah.
night?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it figures as Cobra Kai and Karate Kid coincidences would have it, Sam and Robbie, of course, have to go to the exact same place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it's
times. Good times for
everybody just keeps
everybody.
running into everybody. That now, who started it there with Sam and Tori?
Mm.
Because there's been a lot of question over who the real villain here is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, Tori initiated it. Sam took it to a new level
Yeah,
with the sweeping the leg
yeah, but
while
if you're
she's on roller skates.
yeah, that was brilliant. I loved that. I actually love that move a lot because Tori did kind of start the
Yeah,
shit
it was
this
a good
time.
mood. I'm just saying that Tori started it with the bashing into her shoulder or knocking into Sam's shoulder, and then Sam, she kicked it up a notch with knocking Tori off on her
That was
skates.
great. I give her a lot of credit for that. That was really good. I mean, ultimately, let's not forget Sam started this whole thing episodes ago.
Oh yeah,
All right, like a few episodes ago now. So Sam started this whole fight, but Sam gave it to her pretty well there. That
yep,
was good.
yep.
And
But
then
then she got kicked out.
yeah, well, yeah. How about Miguel trying to talk to Sam? Do you think that was
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Like, he kept coming up and kind of trying to just make conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a stupid ass move?
I think it was a realistic move.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that happens all the time.
yeah. And he was right in the throes of trying to get her back all the time, and he
Yeah,
made that octopi video and all that shit for her and everything. So he's
yeah.
trying really hard.
He wanted to clear the air.
And poor Robbie in all this. Robbie is really innocent of anything going on in this whole this
Mm-hmm.
whole this whole love mess
Yeah.
with everybody. He was really just always being a good dude. All right, let's talk. Let's get up to episode 9 because I know we're skipping some stuff, but we're low on time. Episode 9 was fucking perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw so many great things. Johnny going out with Carmen and then accidentally running into, and again, there's a coincidence every 2 seconds in Cobra Kai world. It's like a very small town. The valley is like
It.
extremely little.
Yeah.
Everybody runs into everybody, even though Johnny and Daniel didn't run into each other for like 35 years. Now they see each other every 35 minutes. It's a little strange.
Yeah, the dinner date at the Mexican restaurant, though, that's probably one of my most favorite scenes in the entire series.
Me too. Yeah.
I love it.
Probably in the top 5 or 6 of the whole series. We'll have to do a separate video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. It was the lines were so perfect. The way they showed that Johnny and Daniel were actually so similar, even though so
Hmm.
different. They didn't want to like each other, but you kind of have to sometimes, and they don't. That's so short lived.
Yeah.
Anytime they're getting along,
Yeah.
like they're really connecting for a little while,
Yeah.
and of course that only lasts so long. So many great lines there.
Yeah.
Of course he can dance.
Yes.
It's just so many.
Oh, so this is happening.
Yeah, that was the best. So
That
this
was
is
great.
happening. That was just such a great thing to put together. The way they started, when Daniel, I think, started this, when he's like, no, it was Johnny. It was Johnny started it when he started talking about his class size. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm doubling my classes. Yeah. I had to
Yep.
add a whole nother class. Yeah, I got so many kids want to come in.
Yes.
It's just great.
And Carmen looks just stricken.
Yeah, like what are you doing, asshole? This was one of the, I've talked a lot on this channel about how I don't always like their comedy. It's not that it's not hilarious. It's just that I don't want to deviate too much from the seriousness of the show. Um, but that particular bit that went full blown sitcom for a few minutes, I thought that was perfect. I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
care.
well done.
It didn't hurt the seriousness of what was happening. It was well needed comedy relief.
Hmm.
And then unfortunately, the very next morning, they're fighting, right? They're actually in
Hmm.
their first fist fight. So when Johnny and Daniel, then when Daniel goes over there, looking for Sam, and that whole fucking thing happens, that was, what do you think? Was that forced? A lot of us think that was kind of a forced fight.
A little, yeah.
See, I think if they were going to fight, they would have fought at the dojo when Daniel showed up and was such a prick
Hmm.
in episode 5. I think if they didn't fight then, they wouldn't fight now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So they kind of had it backwards.
Yeah.
But whatever. All right, so they got into a little fight. That TV, first time the TV goes down out
Yeah.
of 2, and then there'll be more, I think. I think the TV is going to come down a lot.
Yeah.
Fight was 50-50, right? Going back to what we were saying earlier.
Hmm.
Very 50-50 fight.
Right.
Daniel was definitely out of line in that one.
Definitely.
Right, Daniel was
Yeah.
really just
That
being a
was one
dick.
of the times that Johnny was actually in the moral right. I mean, as a parent, as a human being, he was on top of things, and Daniel was just an ass.
Yeah, really, I definitely blame Daniel entirely for that one. And then the assholeness did not stop because then Daniel starts yelling at Robbie. Again,
Yeah,
Daniel
that
throws
poor
Robbie out
kid.
of his life at the end of every season.
Yeah.
Or at the end of season 3, we'll get into that later. Robbie throws Daniel out of his life. Either way, someone throws somebody. Those two had such a nice start, and look
Yep.
what's happened.
Yep.
They can't end a fucking season together without someone throwing somebody else away. What a shame. Well, final episode, huge, right? This is when we really.
Epic.
I've talked a lot about the comedy being a little more appropriate in season 2 and season 1 leaning more comedy.
Hmm.
The fact I never thought this show was going to give us consequences like what happens to Miguel.
Oh my.
But it happened. They really went there. Miguel got an STD, and I did not think the show was going to go there. But
Well,
we don't know from whom. He's been with a couple of girls at this point. It's anyone's anyone's
that is
guess.
not what
It's
happened.
probably Sam. I'm sure it was
Troll.
Sam actually.
Let's
So Sam was probably the one who gave him chlamydia, and
troll.
now he's got to get penicillin shots. He's got to get all
Stop.
kinds of
Okay,
stuff.
we need to
This
focus on the
poor
fight.
Miguel. All right, we got 30 seconds left. Look, the fight was epic, right? Obviously, very epic, very well done.
Yes.
What do you prefer, a tournament or what happened at the end of season 2?
The season 2.
Right, that was better than a tournament.
Yeah.
And I used to wonder, how are they going to end a season without a tournament? It seems like you kind of need a
You
tournament.
got your answer.
You got your answer right here. It was an amazing ending. Spoiler alert, he's okay. I love how people online were like, "What if Miguel doesn't live? Will he come back?" I'm like, guys, he's the heart of the show. Of course he's fine. Anyway, guys, look, if you enjoyed this video for any reason, please like, subscribe, hit
Thumbs
bells,
up.
all kinds of icons. We'll be back for season 3.